Hello, and welcome back to another Kerbal Space Program video. If you have played Kerbal Space Program for a while, you might know those 4 main launch sites you can use. The Kerbal Space Center, the Woomerang launch site, the Desert launch site, and the Island Airfield. But recently I figured there are actually more than those 4. And I wanted to discover some of them so I can use them to my advantage to build better crafts and without that much effort. And recently I stumbled upon that one launch site called the Cove launch site, which is relatively close to the Kerbal Space Center actually. And I decided to go there and discover it so I can launch my ships from there, because the cool thing about the Cove Space Center, Cove launch site, is actually that the launch pad has a ramp that leads you directly into the water, so you can build planes and water planes and seaplanes, yeah, it's the same thing, and like boats, and you can just roll them into the water, and you're in the water and everything's fine. Because normally in the Kerbal Space Center I would have to manually drive them to the shore or use vessel mover. So I wanted to go there and decided to build a boat, because yes, I want to build an amphibious vehicle that could drive all the way over there and then drive onto the ramp. But I tested it, I built the boat, and it just swam at 5 meters per second, and that is not efficient at all, and the fuel was also real low, so it was nowhere close to getting there. And then I figured, let's make a solar plane that can land on the water and take off from the water. So I did that. As you can see now, I'm engaging the autopilot to fly me over to the Cove launch site. For this craft I had like 1 hour to design it, and then another hour to test it and kinda like make it better and improve it so it actually lands and starts on the water. It's really hard to do so because it tended to tip over and be upside down, and I had to use vessel mover to flip it back up, and that was like not what I wanted to do. Every time I landed, flip it back up, and the other ones were just too slow. And finally I landed on this design, which uses 2 electrical light duty motors with high RPM and low torque, and a bunch of solar panels to propel its way through the air. With a top speed of around 140 meters per second, we can reach the Cove launch site real fast in under 10 minutes or so. This thing is actually able to land and start on the water. That's one of the main objectives I had building this craft. And if you want to take off, the most important thing is that you keep your wings level so they don't actually touch the water, because then the whole craft would like turn around by 180 degrees and you would just have no velocity left. That was kind of the main problem to solve there. And actually, after I filmed the video, already like before I made this voiceover, I just realized, why not just take those floaters and put them a little wider so the craft doesn't like roll that hard when it landed. But it's too late now. Also, the landing gear is right below the floater, so you can also land on the land if you have like a runway or so. And I didn't quite realize that the steerable fixed landing gear does not have brakes, so I tried to take off and I failed, and I tried to brake and it just didn't slow down. And that's when I realized that I had to put some other gear on it, and I put the small retractable landing gear on it because it's retractable and can steer and it can brake. Turn off the steering though, because it would just be real bad at takeoff. Another thing I'm just currently working on is some kind of program that can like interact with your Kerbal Space program and then sync that changes to a folder, so you can like create a shared folder with your friends or so, and then the program will sync your Kerbal Space program world in there, and your friends can use the program to download and write to that folder, and it would just like be a multiplayer, but not multiplayer, so you can build space stations together. You can say, yeah, the first person puts up the main module with some habitats, and the second person brings up some monopropellant, and the third one some electricity, and then the first person launches, and as the first person is launching, you launch. The second one is also starting to launch, and then you can just put all the modules into orbit, and then after you put them into orbit you can sync, and then all the modules are in orbit, and one person can dock all of them together, or something like that. You can also build a moon base, like one person sends up a miner, a drill, and some generators, the other one some solar panels, and the last one habitats, and then you can just say where you want them, and the first person goes there early, and the other persons go there after the first person was there to ensure they are at the right position. And it's turning out pretty good. I just pretty much finished the main part. I have to do some testing now, and I will surely update you guys on that. Now you can see me here, like on this cap. On the left, you can also not on the left. So in the middle, now it's the map. Now it's on the map, you can see those 3 arrows pointing to a location. That's MechJeb that told me where this Cove launch site is, and I'm now turning towards that launch site. If you look closely to the front of the aircraft, you can see a shore that's like connecting those 2 caps there, and they're like right there is the thing. Can I pull a salto here? Yes, I can. This plane is so powerful, it just pulled a backflip, and it's real fast. And now I will like accelerate the time a little bit, so you can see how I miserably fail to land this thing. If you have watched this video like with a lot of attention, you might have seen that I'm flying with Jeb, and you might wonder why. And I recently found out that you can respawn the crew members that have died, and I of course had to do this so I can fly with Jeb again, because Jeb is the only real pilot in this game, except for Antina. She's also good. Now I will try to land, or Jeb will try to land, and first I will do some flybys with some cinematic shots, and I hope you enjoy them. Now we get to the landing. This is the fun part. Nope, just kidding. I'm going around one time. Okay, now let's honestly get to the landing. Okay, you didn't see that, alright? Just forget about that one, okay? Please, just ignore it, okay? Now, here we go. First try. Do we manage to land it? And yes, of course we do. Because Jeb is the greatest pilot in existence, this was definitely my first try. Now, let's try to get this to shore. This was actually like the hardest part of all of this, because the craft kept hitting the water with his wings, and this was like really annoying. And here we are, getting a little closer to shore now. We finally did it. I crawl up the shore real slow so I don't actually destroy the propellers, because that would be terrible right now. And here's the shot. I've arrived at the Cove launch site. And I was really happy with that, but I wasn't happy enough, because the reason why I got there is because I want to build a ship. And let's start building a little ship that is designed to be fast and maneuverable, so you can test out our new advantage here. You just put together some small thing and realize that rather won't fit because it's way too big. And then we just launch it. That's nice, because now we don't have to drive it over to the shore. Just drop it off the launch pad in the Cove launch site. And here we go, full throttle. The thing is going quite fast. What happens if I go underwater? Whoa, it's a submarine now. This is crazy. And what if I just... Oh no. Jeb? Just don't crash it, okay? This was really expensive. Jeb, don't. Okay, I guess this will be fun, right? This will be totally fun! Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like or even subscribe. Bye!